here in the kitchen. I'm not going to make you work too hard, okay? So I'll take this first one with Chef Jon-Paul. You know, this is a popular food that we want to start the show off with. In a variety of ways, it can be cooked. And today we're talking about polenta, 2 different ways with Chef Jon-Paul Hutchins from Le Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts. Big title,
Yes.
Nice guy.
Well, it's wonderful to be here, and I want to demystify polenta, because Andy mentioned before the show that she actually buys a polenta that's pre-made that you slice, which is good, but when you see how much it costs to make this, it's nothing. This is peasant food. But we're going to elevate it. We're going to do a couple of cool things with it, so out of one batch of polenta, you can make a whole lot of different things.
And after the holidays and all the shopping, we're going to need, like, budget-friendly recipes.
And it's, you know what, I love this time of the year because I can start making some substantial food.
Right.
You know, something that's kind of like rib sticking, and it's inexpensive, it's easy to make, and it's all do ahead.
Very good. What are our ingredients?
We're going to have you make the polenta, and really what it is, polenta is a cornmeal, and it comes in 3 different sizes, 1, 2, and 3, which makes sense, from the finest all the way up to the coarsest. So this is polenta number 2. It's somewhere in the middle. It's just like grits, except grits are made out of hominy. Okay. All right, which is a white corn that's treated with lye. This is just ground corn. So I have boiling water. I have about a tablespoon of salt in here. I have about 8 ounces of polenta by weight, and I have approximately 2.5 pints of water in here. Okay. So with such limited salt, are you doing that to get the boil quickly, or because it's actually flavored? Just flavor. Okay. Just to give it some flavor. So what we're going to do is we're going to rein this in. So I'm going to show you reining, and you're going to stir. Stir it. All right. So you're going to get that guy going. And when we rein in, we just drop it in quickly like that. Now, when you rein it in, what does that do? Why is that important? That's important because if I just dump it in, the outside of the corn might gelatinize and trap other pieces of corn on the inside. You get a clump. It's called a lump. Yeah, a clump or a lump. Yeah. A clump so or by reining it in, and this goes for any cereal grain that I'm doing. So if I'm doing grits, if I'm doing cream of wheat, if I'm doing anything, just rein it in like that. You can go fairly quickly, but the idea is to try to separate those grains. Now, my grandmother used to tell me good polenta takes 20 minutes, great polenta takes about 40 minutes to an hour. Okay. So once this comes up to a boil, I'm going to reduce it down to a simmer, and then we're just going to kind of let that slowly go. So that's good. So now you can just stir it every now and then. Initially, it's going to gelatinize. It's going to start soaking it up, and then just gently move on it. What you don't want is popping. There is no pain like a polenta burn. There is no pain, all right? All right, bathe me in napalm, but don't dip me in polenta, all right? So over here, we're making the first of our sauces. So we're doing a really simple red sauce with sausage. Now, the cool thing about a sausage is it has all the seasonings in it. It's got all the spices, it's got all the herbs, it's got even salt in there. So all I'm gonna do is take my sausage, brown it off. This is Italian sausage. You can use hot or sweet. And I'm gonna add some mirepoix. So I took some onions, some celery, and some carrots, and I just minced them up a little bit. If you wanted to, you can throw this in your Cuisinart. Zhush, 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 zhush. All right. Okay? If you don't want to spend the time. So we're going to sweat that down. Same size bites so that it's all, there's nothing that's more yeah, well, I'm not gonna puree the sauce because I have the meat in there. Okay. So I don't want big old chunks of onion in there. And then we're just going to sweat that down. Now you can see these guys are starting to get kind of large now. Is that bad? That's wonderful. Oh, okay. That's wonderful. You are a phenomenal polentier. Okay, you're making me giggle today. All right. So now, once I get this down, as soon as I can start to smell it, I want to get these guys kind of soft. So the other thing is, when it's nice and small, it's going to cook quicker. And then I'm just going to hit it with crushed tomatoes, a little salt and pepper, let my sauce cook down, and we're just about there. Very good. Now, and this may be inappropriate, but I noticed that it's kind of sticking to the bottom. Do we want that because we want the flavors to stick to the bottom and kind of like absorb into it, or is that just because no, absolutely not. Thanks for pointing that out, Stephanie. Absolutely not. Hey, I gave you an out just because we have bad burners. I appreciate it. No. And no, actually, because you've done that in the past. You've wanted things to char on the bottom so you can get the goodness off the bottom of the plate. Well, here's the cool part. If you can see, if I can pull away the bottom of the pan now, it's not brown and sticking and burning anymore. Okay. Because the moisture from the tomatoes is going to remove what I call the fond. Okay. So the fond is all those nice brown bits like in the bottom of a roasting pan. Right. All right, I want that because that's flavor. So see, you made me feel bad, but you really did want it. No, well, I want to control it. Let's put it that way. So here's a good tip. If this starts to burn on you, okay, and it starts to get away from you, just change pots. Do not throw water in there. If it smells burnt, it's going to taste burnt. Got it. The second I put water in, it's going to permeate the whole sauce, and the sauce is going to taste burnt. Just lift the stuff off the top, put it in a fresh pot. Abort the mission. Well, not abort the, let's say abort the pot. Okay. And we'll keep the food. We don't want to throw that out. But if you can see the bottom, see how it's nice and clean now? Yeah, absolutely. So that's a technique. I'm not going to pull your card just because, you know, there was a little bit of burn on the bottom. I prefer to call it fond brune. See, French have a word for everything. Isn't that awesome? Thank you, Le Cordon Bleu.
All right, so you're going to keep stirring. This polenta is going to keep getting a little bit thicker.
And we're going to check in on this.
Starting to be pretty
and I already have some done. So we're going to show you how to treat this. And we're going to pour it out in a sheet pan. And we're going to talk about a couple different ways that you can do this.
Okay. Very good.
So that's pretty much it right there. So we're going to let that cook down.
That was easy.
And then in the next segment, I'm going to make something called basically a bechamel that we're going to turn into a Mornay mushroom sauce.
You know, I have
So we're going to do one with
bechamel. The more I can do it, the more I master it. I struggle every time.
This,
so
you're going to make it then. I'll have you make it.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll do that.
The queen of bechamel.
Hopefully that's my segment. Andy, if not, then I have to rain on your parade. Okay, so we're not done, as you just mentioned. We do have 2 polenta recipes. JP's going to stick around and make the other one that has that base of the bechamel, and then we're going to go ahead and plate this up and see how this looks. And then we'll all be happy because our tummies will be full. The secret, the secret to elegant, stress-free holiday entertaining to get a laugh out of JP, you're doing good. Right around the corner, we're sharing it with you coming up next. Happy birthday, Andy.